Right, let's get started. And Defense Minister Dominic Nitiwu says a statue of Major Maxwell Mahama, which will be unveiled later today, should be a reminder to Ghanaians that the rule of law must always reign. We'll hear from the minister shortly, but the nation was left grief-stricken following the gruesome killing of Army Major Maxwell Mahama by a mob at Danger Obuasi, now New Obuasi, in the central region. There were calls for the perpetrators to be punished with a strong push for an end to mob action. 2 years on, some Ghanaians are worried that citizens still attempt to take the law into their own hands. There's more in this report.
The viral video capturing men with clubs and stones beating the life out of a young soldier left many shocked. The calls for swift punishment of those involved was loud. The family remained worried as arrests and release of suspects were widely reported.
There shouldn't be not less than 50 people here because it's the people who are involved in contributing in one way or the other to get him killed are more than 50.
2 years on, 14 persons are still standing trial for the crime. 10 of the state's 14 witnesses have already testified. The crime is still fresh in the minds of James, Daniel and Sean, who can almost recall the incident as if the news broke yesterday.
Unlucky person to find himself in that situation.
A captain, Major Mahama, very sad.
I can understand how his family and loved ones must feel about his death. I myself, I was hurt by it, but I think 2 years on, we should be able to put a finger to what exactly that we have learned as a people.
The family of a soldier had indicated plans to set up a foundation to campaign against mob justice. Other Ghanaians had also called for an end to citizens taking the law into their own hands. There has, however, been more than 10 attempted or successful lynching stories reported by the press since May 29, 2017, when Major Adam Mahama was killed. James, Daniel and Sean find this worrying.
Yeah, it's because now people don't trust, or over the years, people have lost trust in the justice system, the police, and our court system. How are they dealing with cases when people bring cases to them? How do they deal with it? Look at the Anas video. You see, what have they done? What are they doing?
We are on a standstill. Everybody is thinking about NDC, MPP, no, but things need to be put right. If things are put right, the country will be fine, and these things will come to a minimum.
They believe the greatest monument that could immortalize the late soldier would be a restoration of confidence in the justice delivery system.
By looking at ourselves as a people, we must put a mirror in front of us and look at ourselves as a people, our attitude. And maybe we could do with a little bit of the cliche, awareness creation. It's important, but you can do all the awareness that you want to do. But if the people are not willing to change their attitude towards certain things, it's interesting that you only talk about mob justice. I think as a people, our attitude goes beyond just mob justice. Our attitude to work, our attitude to national assignments, how we handle government projects. In every facet of our development, you realize that we fall short when it comes to our attitude, and yet we're very quick to admire what is going on in other jurisdictions, that you forget that it's that very same people that made the jurisdiction look like that. So I think that the lessons that we need to draw, not just out of mob justice, but out of how we deal with everything around us, is our attitude as a people.
And then for that matter, we've lost that value. Putting highest value on human beings, we've lost it, and until we get that thing right, everything will go wrong as it is now. And that is what African man is lacking, and African leadership is lacking. We have no value for human beings. That is why even law enforcement is not being done properly, because I believe if laws are properly enforced, 80% of our problems will be solved. And I don't think our politicians, be it NDC, MPP, they are ready to enforce the law rightly.
The trial of the 14 persons charged with the crime continues on June 11. But how many other Ghanaians who fall victim to such heinous acts perpetuated by citizens gets the nation crying? The murder of Major Mahama should have shocked the conscience of all Ghanaians for us to say never again.
Now, Defense Minister Dominic Nitiwul said that his outfit will continue to educate people on mob justice and the need to allow the law to deal with persons suspected of crime. Speaking to Joy News on the sidelines, of the flag-raising and wreath-laying ceremony to commemorate International Day of United Nations Peacekeepers, Mr. Nitiwul made these comments.
Well, it was a flag raising and wreath-laying ceremony here at the forecourt of the State House. We have family members of some officers who died whilst serving on various UN missions. I've been speaking to a woman whose husband died whilst also serving. Her name is Emma Kofi, and she's been speaking fondly of her husband.
Yeah, he passed on the 15th of October last year. And before then, he was the deputy commander for the mission at the UNAMID in Sudan. My husband, a very handsome young man. I call him a young man because even when he was aging, he looked so nice. Very calm, very respectful, appreciative. He thanked you for everything you do for him. You know? Even on the admission, he was saying thank you to the nurses for everything they do. Yeah. He was quite a person, but he had his own way of creating humor, laughter in the home. He gives everybody a pet name. He gives you the law interpretation of everything you do. He was a lawyer too, so everything you do, he gives you the law interpretation of it. Trying to put all of us into a law school by force in the home. So that's how we remember him and miss him.
So,
I don't want to tell how I feel. My heart is beating. I wish he was alive to receive a proper honor award because he was a very hard-working man, very committed to his job. Yeah, so I wish he was alive. I don't want to see him collecting an award when he's dead. I wish he was alive. So I have a mixed feeling today. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
He was a very hard-working man. He was a funny man. He was interested in sports. He always used to make everybody in the house laugh. He was very generous. Yeah.
What do you miss about him?
What do I miss about him? The times we watched football, tennis, all the times we spent together, the lessons I learned from him.
Yeah. What lessons can you draw from his life?
His hard work, his generosity, how he cared about people, made everyone around him laugh. Yeah.
I've been speaking to the Defense Minister, Dominic Nitiwul, who was here to give the main speech. He's been talking about the second year anniversary of the death of Captain Maxwell Mahama. He says there are major lessons Ghanaians have to learn.
I hope that we have learned a lesson as a country, because the whole essence was to stop people from meting out instant justice. So I hope that as Ghanaians we have learned from what we have done. The monument we are unveiling today clearly is what will remind Ghanaians that we should let the rule of law continue to reign over us and not take the law into our own hands. But I hope that we have learned a lesson. We'll continue to speak on it. We'll continue to educate people. We'll continue to let people know that even if you suspect somebody of a crime, report him to the police, or you make sure that that person has a right to live until that person is proven guilty and the court decides otherwise. But we hope Ghanaians have learned.
I've also been speaking to the American ambassador to Ghana. We've been speaking on a wide range of issues, including the military cooperation agreements between the U.S. and Ghana, and then visa restrictions. We've also been talking about this event here, the flag raising and wreath-laying ceremony here at the State House.
I think, as has been the case for many, many decades, including when I was here previously, more than 20 years ago, the United States and Ghana have a robust military cooperation throughout different administrations in the U.S., different administrations in Ghana. I saw from afar, it was very unfortunate to see something that important for national security be so politicized, and it's welcome that people recognize the importance, and there's nothing to say about it. It's going on as expected. Thank you so much.
Yeah, there are some who said or criticized it as an invasion of our sovereignty. There are some who describe it as such. Do you see it as such?
At all. This is a sovereign agreement for developing a more robust framework for our ongoing cooperation that has transcended NDC, NPP, Republican, Democrat administrations. So it's really a tempest in a teapot, as far as I'm concerned.
Right. Now, the unveiling of this statue to commemorate Major Mahama is about to take place. Our correspondent, Joseph Akable, is on the scene. We can connect with him via phone now. Joseph, tell us about the setting as people get ready to unveil this all-important monument at Airport Hills.
Well, Kojo, the latest is that the unveiling ended just about 2 minutes ago. The defense minister, the interior minister, and the head of the military, as well as the family of the late soldier, all were present at this particular all-important occasion. Quite a solemn event, I must say. The soldiers, his colleagues, were here in their numbers as it was unveiled. The statue has 4 different parts, and it has various designs that the architect tells us has been made to ensure that once people see it, what comes into their mind quickly is that mob action must not happen again. And so in terms of the sides of it, there is an image of the soldier bending slightly with his left hand stretched, and you have other people which depicts the mob holding stones, others holding clubs and other implements moving towards him, and then the soldier lifts his left hand. He has his gun on the side, but he's not touching the gun. And the architect explained that is to suggest that the soldier exercised a lot of restraint, even though he had the weapon and he was well aware of how threatening the crowd was. It also has the symbol of the judiciary also on it, which we are told is to depict the fact that the law enforcement agencies and the judiciary remain the appropriate forum whenever we feel that individuals have flouted laws. The defense minister, in his speech, made the point that government is bent on ensuring that anyone who goes contrary to the laws of this country is dealt with. In fact, he's informed us that the situation in Chirponi, some 2 individuals were convicted earlier today. And he says that has not happened in times past because whenever there's this ethnic violence, people are of the view that due to the sensitive nature, they don't take the matter up and prosecute the individuals. But he says that conviction is an example of the commitment and the new bond that government and the family of Major Mahama are making to the people of Ghana, that anyone who falls foul of the law will be dealt with. The family, I spoke to Captain Retired Dennis Mahama, the father. He also talked about the fact that he's very worried that 2 years on, there are still reported cases of mob action taking place in various parts of the country. And he feels that people have still not learned the hard lessons that ought to be learned. And he expects that going forward, the military and the various security agencies continue to ensure that they deal with people who engage in such acts. The other question has to do with the Major Mahama Trust Fund. And I asked the father whether the family is being provided for us had been indicated, and he makes the point that that is being done, and the family is doing quite well. Kojo.
Well, that's quite comprehensive there, Joseph. Thank you very much for that update. And of course, we'll bring you footage of the ceremony in due course. Joseph Akable there speaking to us from Airport Hills, where a statue has been unveiled to commemorate the tragic death of Major Maxwell Mahama, a man who was lynched by a mob in Denchira Obuasi 2 years ago.